Welcome back to our deep dive on public procurement evaluation. So far, we've walked through Stage 1's data collection, Stage 2's eligibility and deviation checks, and Stage 3's 13-step detailed comparison. Today, we reach the finale, Stage 4, Final Determination. Welcome back to Procurement Doodle, where guidelines are made simple, one doodle at a time. In Stage 3, we identified the substantially responsive lowest evaluated bidder after all the price adjustments, life cycle costs, and currency conversions. Now, Stage 4 is where we make the final determination, the last checkpoint before we recommend a winner. What happens here? First, we examine if the bid is unbalanced. That means front-loaded pricing or quantity manipulation. Then, we do post-qualification, verifying that the lowest evaluated bidder actually has the capacity, experience, and financial strength to perform the contract. And if there's an alternative bid, we check if it's better than the original. Only then do we recommend the award. So, grab your sketchbook. Let's finish strong, one doodle at a time. The substantially responsive lowest evaluated bid will now be examined for any unbalanced pricing during the post-qualification stage. In addition, the bidder's financial and technical capability, along with all other relevant qualifications, will be verified to ensure satisfactory contract execution as required by the procurement documents. In Stage 3, Step 12, we promised a dedicated video on pricing anomalies. While that deep dive will cover unrealistic bids separately, in Stage 4, we must now focus on unbalanced bids, a distinct but equally critical check that can derail even the lowest evaluated price. Let's examine how the committee identifies and remedies them. What is an unbalanced bid? It's when unit prices are distorted, either through front-loading, where early work is priced high and later work low, or quantity manipulation, where a bidder inflates prices on items they believe are underestimated. Both tactics raise contract costs and, in front-loading, weaken the incentive to complete the job. The procedure for unbalanced bids depends on the contract value. For contracts exceeding 750 million rupees, the committee computes the present value of all unbalanced items using the work program and also the present value of those same items from the engineer's estimate. The difference between the two present values is added to the quoted price, for comparison only. When a bidder inflates a unit price, believing the quantity is underestimated, the committee does not alter the evaluated price. A special contract clause is inserted. This clause limits the use of the overpriced rate if actual quantities exceed the estimate. Only the tendered quantity is paid at the high rate, excess is repriced or capped, protecting the procuring entity from runaway costs. For contracts not exceeding 750 million rupees, the focus shifts to low-priced items. The bidder must provide a rate analysis and justification to show how they will deliver at those rates. If the explanation is acceptable, evaluation proceeds. If it is unacceptable, the bidder may be asked to furnish a higher performance security. If that higher security is refused, the bid is rejected without forfeiting the original bid security. If the lowest bidder accepts the remedial measures, they are recommended for the award. If not, the next lowest substantially responsive bidder is evaluated until a qualified winner is found. Post-qualification, much like pre-qualification, is the final check on the lowest evaluated bidder. It confirms they have adequate capacity, experience, and qualifications tailored to the contract's size, nature, and complexity. If the bid lacks sufficient proof, the procuring entity may ask for additional historical and factual evidence to verify. For works contracts, the post-qualification checklist covers valid CIDA registration, demonstrable experience of similar nature and complexity, with cited works at least 70% complete, confirmed cash flow, verified availability of key equipment, qualified contract management staff, a detailed work program with critical path analysis, and any required guarantees and warranties. For goods contracts, the bidder must provide a manufacturer's authorization certificate to confirm supply rights. The committee also verifies maintenance and repair capability, spare parts availability, financial capacity, and past experience in similar supplies. These checks ensure the winner can deliver and support the goods throughout the contract period. If the lowest evaluated bidder meets all post-qualification requirements, the committee recommends them for award. If they fail, the committee simply moves to the next lowest evaluated bidder, repeating the check until a qualified bidder is selected for the contract. Once evaluation is complete, the BEC or PC prepares a bid evaluation report. It lays out the full evaluation process, key findings, and a recommendation for award. The report is built on 3 core principles: strict adherence to pre-disclosed evaluation criteria, demonstrable competitiveness and transparency, and a clear application of economy, efficiency, and value for money. The bid evaluation report must be comprehensive. It starts with key dates and bid opening records, then moves through compliance tables for commercial and technical requirements. Financial comparison tables show arithmetic corrections, deviations, currency conversion, and domestic preference. The report includes a clarifications record, post-qualification verification, and the names of rejected bidders with reasons. Finally, it closes with a contract award recommendation and a narrative section for any extra context needed. At the end of Stage 4, the Bid Evaluation Committee recommends the successful bidder to the Procurement Committee for the final contract award decision. If no BEC exists, the Procurement Committee itself makes the determination. Either way, the stage is set for a formal contract award. With that, we close Stage 4, the final determination. We checked for unbalanced pricing, verified post-qualification, compiled the bid evaluation report, and made the formal recommendation. The evaluation journey is now complete. Before we wrap up, 3 special conditions deserve their own spotlight: alternative bids, multiple equal lowest bids, and negotiations. We'll tackle each one separately. Now let's talk about alternative bids. An alternative bid is when a bidder offers a different solution than what the tender documents asked for. For example, a different design, material, or technology. But here's the rule. Alternative bids are only allowed if the procurement documents specifically say so. If not allowed, any alternative bid is simply rejected. If allowed, how do we evaluate it? First, we evaluate the original bid. Only if the original bid is the lowest evaluated responsive bid, then we look at the alternative. And we only accept the alternative if it's better, meaning a lower evaluated price, and it fully complies with the instructions in the procurement documents. So remember, alternatives are a bonus, not a shortcut. Use them correctly, and they can save money. Use them wrong, and they're out. Simple, one doodle at a time. What happens if 2 or more bidders quote the exact same lowest evaluated price? The guidelines give us 3 fair options. First, if the nature of the procurement allows, we can split the contract equally among the tied bidders. Second, we can request fresh sealed bids, but only from those tied bidders, not from everyone. And third, we can use a fair random method, like a draw of lots or tossing a coin. Whichever method you choose must be decided before bid opening and disclosed in the procurement documents. Fair, transparent, and simple, one doodle at a time. We've covered a lot, from unbalanced bids to post-qualification and even multiple lowest equal bids. But Stage 4 isn't over yet. In the next video, we'll discuss negotiations, bid rejection, and when to re-invite bids. So stay with me. I'll see you there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, if you want to never miss a future upload, hit that red subscribe button, then click the bell icon right next to it. From the pop-up, choose all notifications. That way, every time we drop a new video, you'll get an instant alert. Let's grow together. Subscribe and turn on the bell now.